Hey guys, I'm Ane from A Grade Tech, and with me now is Samsung's newest flagship, the S20 Plus. Now the S line starts from the S20, the S20 Plus, which is this one, and the S20 Ultra. Now, is there a difference between this and the S20 Ultra? Well, not exactly. Over the video, I will go through it in depth, but this phone is pack-a-punch with all the latest flagship features that you would need in a 2020 smartphone. So without further ado, let's get started. To start off, let's unbox it. The box comes in a nice, simple black color with a S20 Plus 5G written on it. It's so satisfying just able to do that. Alright, so we got the phone right here and a nice, I think it's called ocean blue or something. Can't remember the exact name of the color, but it's a really nice color. So I'll leave that to a side. What else we got in the box? We got this, don't know what this paper is. And so inside the box we have, now this is a super fast 25-watt charger, so 0 to 50 in about 30 to 40 minutes, which is really fast. We've got this thing which, if I can just open it, this is really nothing, I don't know why. Now this is the USB Type-C to Type-C cable. I love how Samsung just moved from USB Type-A to USB Type-C now to USB Type-C to USB Type-C. It's much faster for charging. Samsung's AKG earphones. Now, I love these earphones. I mean, you know, the bass is nice, it's clear, crispy. They've been providing it in their flagship for quite some time now, and it's really bold move from them. Man, that is beautiful. The pin sector tool. What else is inside here? Yeah, so here we just have your quick start guide and a warranty card, which, you know, keep the warranty card and you don't really need this. So yeah, that's pretty much done for the unboxing. Now, let's move on to what's inside the phone. So the internal specs of this phone is bumped up to 2020 flagship levels, and they're just really crazy numbers. Out of the box, you have a 6.7-inch 120Hz Quad HD AMOLED display with Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 or Exynos 990 depending on the region, and you have 12 GB of RAM and UFS 3.0 120 GB of built-in storage. Now, the feeling of moving from 60Hz to 120Hz is just incredible. It makes the whole user interface so nice and much smoother than your average 60Hz. Samsung has doubled the touch response from 120Hz to 240Hz, which just doubles the smoothness and experience so much more. Now, depending on what region you live in, you either get the Snapdragon 865 and the Exynos 990 chip. Now, in the UK, unfortunately, you get the Exynos 990. Now, the difference between these two is kind of massive. I mean, the Snapdragon 865 is at least 20% better than in terms of speed, performance, optimization. But if you're a person who doesn't really care about speed and performance and, you know, doesn't really care about getting the top performance, then the Exynos variant is still a very good way to go. It still handles optimization and performance, everything pretty well. But there's a slight catch. So you can only use the 120Hz only when it's dialed back to 1080p, and can't use it at the same time with the Quad HD, which is a bit of a bummer since other phones such as the OnePlus 8 Pro and the Oppo Find X3 Pro have the option. Don't know why Samsung did it, probably just to conserve battery, but you know, it would be nice to have the option. Now, when it comes to Samsung, they make one of the best smartphone displays out there. Watching content on this phone is just absolutely amazing. Because of that screen to body ratio and that small hole punch, you are really taking the full advantage of that display. You especially notice it when you're watching YouTube, Netflix, and just playing your favorite games. Moving on with the display, we've got the in-display fingerprint scanner. So the S20 Plus used the same first generation fingerprint scanner as the S10 and the S10 Plus. I mean, there have been a few upgrades and minor software tweaks to improve the speed and reliability, but more or less it's still the same. But it is quick and snappy, so if your hands are full or you just want to make a contactless payment, then you can use it for that. Now, the build quality on this phone, it just feels really premium. The phone is constructed with Gorilla Glass 6 front and back and made out of glass and aluminium. I'm really digging the color on this phone. It's got a nice vibe to it and it makes it a bit unique. The blue just really stands on this phone. In case you haven't noticed, Samsung removed the Bixby button, and now in order to activate Bixby, you have to long press the power button. Honestly, you might want to use the power button just as the power button and use Google Assistant instead, because Bixby, well, we don't talk about Bixby. This phone comes with tons of dope features. Let's check them out. So this phone, just like the S10, comes with fast wireless charging 2.0, which charges up the phone in 12 watts. Right now I'm using a 5-watt charger, but you get the idea. Another dope feature of this phone is it also comes with wireless power share. So it basically acts as a wireless power bank for your other devices that support this. More on the charging as well. Although out of the box it does come with 25 watts, it actually can support up to 45 watts, which charges up the phone from 0 to 100 in just 57 minutes. But that does come sold separately, and it's going to cost you around, if I can remember, £40. But I think the 25-watt charger is still a good deal. Now, what I really love about Samsung is they're still keeping that micro SD slot. I mean, I don't know about you, but having that choice for expandable storage is just a must-have feature to me. This phone also comes tuned with dual speakers by AKG. Since this phone is tuned by AKG, you're going to expect some really good sound quality from these. And also has the same for Dolby Atmos to give you that more movie-like experience. Let's move on to battery life. So starting from the S20, it has a 4000 mAh battery, whilst this phone has a 4500 mAh battery, while the Ultra has a 5000 mAh battery. I mean, this is to compensate for, you know, the 6.9-inch display along with the 120 Hz and the Quad HD display. Now this year Samsung has completely bumped up the cameras in their smartphones. So just to give you a quick overview, here are the camera specs. So on the rear we have a 12 megapixel wide angle with the f1.1 aperture, 64 megapixel telephoto with the f2.0 aperture, and 12 megapixel ultra wide, 30 times zoom with 3 times digital zoom, and on the front we have a 10 megapixel f2.2 aperture. So I haven't used the S20 Ultra, but what I do know is 30 times zoom on this is not as good as your standard, you know, focal lens, or the 30 times zoom, the clarity is gone, it's a bit noisy. I mean, the reason why I say the zoom is not necessary is because, I mean, I haven't used the S20 Ultra, but what I can tell you is that zooming in 100 times, it's not really worth it at all. I mean, you're losing clarity, it's a lot of noise, it's like, you know, it looks like kind of like a painting. Even 30 times on this phone it's just about passable. I mean, you know, it's not your standard photo. The S20, the S20 Plus, I mean, they have all the features that the Ultra does have. I hope you guys learned something from this and it helped you choose which phone to go to. And I just want to say a huge shout out to Samsung. No, I'm just joking. By the way, Samsung never sponsored me or anything. I was just lucky that my mom bought this phone and she allowed me to review it. So big shout out to my mom. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so yeah, mom, I give you a shout out. So guys, remember to like, share, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.